Warning, the following podcast has been classified as insanely lucrative. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, and here's a ninja secret. I don't know if you're gonna share this, Manny, but something we've done in the past when we're doing research.
Your attention, please. Listening to the AM/PM podcast may cause recurring revenue streams and unfair advantages over your competitors. Other side effects may include fatter wallets, fired bosses, and longer vacations. Listen at your own risk. Here's your host, seven-figure entrepreneur and online marketing madman, Manny Coates. Manny Coates.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AM/PM podcast. My name is Manny Coates, and I will be your host. And this is the show where we discuss how to generate recurring revenue streams 24 hours per day during the AM and the PM, hence the name of the show. As a matter of fact, I was just trying to think about what I was going to say for the As a Matter of Fact section. And while I was thinking about the As a Matter of Fact, I was making money. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. So guys, it is Thursday Q&A, and I am here as always with my awesome buddy and co-host, Guillermo Puyol.
What's up with you, man?
You know, it's been one of those crazy weeks. We've been working on all the software and trying to get things all scheduled and ready. And, this is kind of a nice little break from it all, these Q&As.
It's been crazy for sure.
I'm excited for these. So, as always, guys, if you've never listened to our Q&As, there's 2 questions. We kind of jump in and jump out and make these short. So, let's get started, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I didn't trick you this time.
I'm just waiting for you, man.
You knew there's the Guy question. Manny's question to Guy. For those of you that do not know this as well, there's always 2 questions, personal questions, typically very personal questions for Guy from yours personally. So, all right, Guy. First question. You haven't heard this one before, I'm sure. It's quite made up. Ready?
I don't know. Go for it.
Here we go. Do you think Zac Efron is really nice in real life, or does he just walk around with his abs out telling people to go fetch him vegetables?
I would imagine that he's so great, man. I mean, a guy that good looking has to be fantastic.
Oh, you're so nice, Keith.
Yeah, hopefully that's what you were looking for.
Yeah, go fetch me a tomato.
If I say he's a jerk and he happens to listen to the AM/PM podcast, he'll probably kick my ass. So. Oh man. Yeah.
All right. Enough of the serious questions. Let's get into these Q&As, shall we?
All right. Yeah. So I have one from. This one came from our Facebook group. Okay. Anna Schneider posted, "Hi Manny, my name is Anna, and I started listening to your podcast a few weeks ago. It's really helpful. Thanks a lot. I'm placing my first order with a supplier from China, and I am having few disagreements with them. As it is our first order, the quantity is low, 500 units, but we have 2 different sizes and 5 different colors, so it means 10 different FNSKUs. And they want to charge me a lot for it because they said they needed to print 1,000 stickers for each barcode. What would be your position on this? Do you think in this case it would be better to send Amazon to label it for me? About the supplier, is it normal this kind of charge for barcodes? Thank you very much."
Okay, that's interesting. I've never been in that situation, to be honest, where I have 500 units, but there's 10 products. Okay, right? There was two different sizes, 5 different colors. So 10 products. So that's really only 50 units per barcode, right? So you have to do barcodes for all these products. But honestly, barcodes aren't that expensive to print up. You know, I mean, you can go to Amazon and you can do that, and they can label the FNSKUs for you for 20 cents each. But that seems like a lot, right? I mean, you can get in China. I imagine that they can get all these barcode labels, these stickers on a printer, and you can get these things for cents, right? Probably 5 cents, 4 cents each. I know here when I do it with my guys in China, it's less than 3 cents. So I don't understand why they would be charging you so much unless, I don't know, what would they be doing, Guy? They have to do a large run. They're not willing to do like just a small printer run. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking they have to do everything at large scale. So it's going to be a hassle for them, and it's probably a way to discourage people from ordering smaller quantities. So they just put that 1,000 sticker minimum. So I mean, yeah, I don't see any technical limitations other than the fact that it's going to be a hassle for them to do it.
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way: we're talking about 500 units. So even if you sent it to Amazon and just had them do it, you're talking about $100 cost. Right? It's not that much. So it's almost not worth the extra time it would take, for example, to find a printer in China, which you could do, which could print these things up, and they could send them over to your factory, and then they would just apply them. It gets to that point on such low volume where the scale of things just doesn't make sense, right? I mean, to save $100. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
What do you think about, and this diverting a little from the question, but what do you think about her starting out with 10 different variations? Is that something you would recommend?
No, that is not something I would recommend. If this is her first product, let me see. She said she was just starting to listen to podcasts, and it's her first order, right? So it's difficult. I mean, the good thing is she said there are variations. So at least if she's getting reviews on one product or one of the SKUs, the reviews will show up under all of the products. So all 10 of them will have that cumulative effect. But it's such a small number of units that she's going to run out very quickly. Maybe she doesn't know which of the units actually sells. I mean, that's where really good research software will come in, and I assume if you've done the research on this product, and if you have, you probably should have drilled down to maybe 2 or 3 very specific colors and sizes that are popular, and then went after those. And then from there, as you grow, then you can expand out to cover maybe the smaller volume variations. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, and here's a ninja secret. I don't know if you're gonna share this, Manny, but something we've done in the past when we're doing research is dig through the reviews. If you're looking at the reviews, the review will actually tell you which variation the review is for. And if there's a good number of reviews, you're quickly going to be able to figure out which one are the more common variations.
Yeah.
So that's gonna narrow it down a lot for you.
Yeah. Thank you for giving away that secret, Guy. Good job.
Well, somebody, and I'm not gonna say their name, but I know you're listening, Birdie, said that I'm too secretive. So here you go. There's a secret.
Yeah, that's actually a really good one. Just to clarify, in case you don't know, go down to the reviews, and what I normally do is I sort the things from newest to oldest, and then just very quickly just go through, and it tells you, if you're looking at shirts, it'll say the size and the color of the shirt of that variation. And then if you're just scrolling through really quick, I mean, you can mark them down, you can tabulate it to get the exact number out of like the last 100 orders, let's say, and you will have a very clear picture as to what size and what color variation is selling the most. Now, Guy, let me say, it can be a little bit skewed slightly because the way Amazon lists specific things, especially like when you're using shirts by Merch by Amazon or something like that, they'll list things by which one is selling the most, right? So if the black shirt, the male black shirt, let's say extra large is selling the most, that's the picture that they'll show. So if they're showing that image, it's more likely that image will the clicks that come in through the image would potentially buy that size. I don't think it's a big variation, but it's something to consider.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, I stand corrected. It wasn't Birdie who said that, it was Birdfly.
Birdfly. Birdfly is one of our regulars on the Periscope, which, by the way, guys, if you are not coming there to listen to myself, and Guy is almost on every episode as well as a support system. He's answering questions. Check it out. It's video. It's live. You can interact, and we do it daily. Just go to Periscope and search for Manny Coates, and then start following me.
Good deal. All right, so that wraps up that first question.
Awesome.
I'm assuming you probably have another one for me.
I do have another one for you. So you're too smart to forget. That's the thing.
Of course.
All right, here we go. Guy?
What's up?
Would you rather lose your hearing for 1 month or your internet connection for a month? And we're talking about global internet loss. You can't go anywhere. Just no internet for a month or no hearing. Complete silence for a month.
you say global internet loss. So does everybody lose internet, or only I?
Only you. Like, you are just blocked from having
God.
any kind of connection.
This
The
is
world,
horrible.
the world moves
I'm
on.
embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to answer this one, but I don't know, man.
I think we know the answer if you're embarrassed.
If it's only for a month, I would have to say I would probably have to lose my man. Everything I do revolves around the internet. So losing the internet for a month where everybody else still has internet, that'll be pretty bad. But I don't know. I'm not taking my hearing for granted.
Your poor babies. Like, Daddy, like, I can't hear you. Leave me alone. I'm on the internet.
Just get on Skype. Text me.
Text you. All right, good. Let's go to question number 2.
So we have a voicemail. So we'll go ahead and play it. And this was actually posted on our website. If you want to leave us a voicemail, you can go to ampmpodcast.com and you can click on the right where it says Ask Manny a Question, and we'll be able to answer it on the show.
Cool.
So here it goes.
Hi, Manny and Guillermo. I have a product expansion question. I've been selling for the last 3 years in a highly competitive market and a 50% profit margin. Probably being the most expensive one there. My question is, let's say it's a grill gloves, very saturated market, highly competitive, but selling really well. To expand the product line, most of the products seems to be saturated, like say the meat thermometer, barbecue tools, grill mats. Is it worthwhile expanding that product line, or shall I move on to something different altogether? That's my question. Thank you very much.
Okay, great question. All right. So, Guy, I think you're going to have to help me with this one. But so the guy gets a 50% profit margin. Okay. He's in a very crowded market. I'm just kind of going over the facts here. He has the most expensive product and he's selling well. Like you said, he's selling really well, but it's an overcrowded market. And he wants to know if he should expand into that niche, that brand, expand the brand. But it's also very saturated with the other products he wants to get into, that product line, and he's curious whether he should jump into it, right? So
Right.
I would say, based on what he's telling us, that he's already in a very crowded market, and he's doing really well, and he's doing really well with the most expensive product out of everybody, right? That's what he said, that he's figured something out. He's got some really good perceived value with his product, whether it's the packaging, the product itself, because he retooled it or did whatever he did with it and it's awesome, or his images. Something is going on that's getting people to buy his product over the others. So that said, I would say if he's got that magic, he's got the special sauce there, why not jump into expanding that market into a related product and just use the same stuff that you did with the last one to dominate the current market? Because I get it, you shouldn't jump into a super saturated market, but at the same time, I've also said if the super saturated market has 1,000 people all selling the exact same thing, then you can go in there with something very unique and very specific, and you can dominate. And if you listen to the podcast episode we just did, where I interviewed Kevin King, he talks about that specifically, where his product is like twice the cost of everything else, and it's a very saturated market, and he's not the top seller, but he crushes it. And that guy's on pace to do over $2 million a year.
Yeah, I think it's very important that he figures out what it is that separates his product from the pack. And if he can definitely pinpoint what he's doing different, then he can just replicate that in the next product that he chooses. I don't think there's any hard rules when it comes to what markets you should or should not get to. It just depends on how creative you can be, what kind of inventory you can float. If it's a really, really high selling product, there's going to be a lot of units. It might not be worth your effort if you cannot afford to have a large inventory, because any efforts on ranking are going to be nullified by you running out of inventory frequently. But if you have considered all those things, and it seems like you have since you're already successful in that market, then go for it.
Yeah, and I don't think his concern is having too many sales and running out of inventory. His is more like it's super crowded. Am I going to be wasting my money by getting all this inventory and then I can't move it? So, yeah, I think we're on the same page though. He just needs to replicate and go and see what happens. But you know, he also has to do the research. Just because you're in one product, you know, if you're selling product A and then product B is a totally different product in the same niche, product B might be completely way more difficult to sell relative to your competition than product A. So it's not always a perfect transition from in the same niche from one product to to another. You have to still look at you still got to do the research and see who else is selling in there, because the same people won't be selling both products. You're going to have people that only concentrate, or sellers that only concentrate on one specific product. So it could be a whole different set of sellers, and they could be playing a whole different game. They're on a different level, right, in terms of sellers. So look at the whole thing and then decide. I know it's a little vague to answer, but it's what it is.
With the information we have, I guess the best we can do, right?
Yeah, I agree. All right, so
cool. That
was it. Our 2 questions.
Whoa! I actually have a third bonus question for you, Manny.
3? Wait, we only do 2.
It's trust me, this is a good one. You want to listen to it.
Oh, it's a voicemail. Okay.
Yep. All right. So here I'm gonna play, and let me know your thoughts.
Okay, cool.
Hey Manny, it's Dave. I was wondering, are you single and ready to mingle?
Single and ready to mingle. Come on.
There you have it, man.
Who's Dave? Is that you?
You can't go. You cannot prove that. So nope, it's not me.
And the answer to that, I have to answer the question, right? No, I am not single, but yes, I'm ready to mingle in terms of other stuff, hanging out, having a good time. But yeah, that was funny. All right, guys. Yeah. So that'll conclude our 3-question Q&A for the first time in a while, or ever, I would think. If you guys have any more questions, as Guy had mentioned earlier, go to ampmpodcast.com and you can leave a text or voice message. We would love that. Also from the site, make sure you click on our Facebook group link and join us over at Amazon FBA High Rollers. It's a private group, but we will get you some access there to where you can hang out with Guy and myself and all the other awesome podcast listeners. And of course, I already mentioned, make sure you follow me on Periscope. Follow me at Manny Coates, and you'll be notified every time we do a daily FBA video on there.
Awesome stuff. Thank you guys. It's always a pleasure, and I hope you tune in the next time.
Yep. Take care, everybody.
You've been listening to the AM/PM podcast hosted by Manny Coates. For more information, insider tools, and to get the resources mentioned in this episode, visit ampmpodcast.com.